Hello everyone. Okay, my name is Anush Bhatia. I'm basically a UI/UX designer at multiple startups. I've worked at multiple startups. So I've been designing for around now 5 to 6 years, with starting from school days. So that's where it started. But I had never done UI/UX initially, which came into my college. So I'll tell you a basic story how my journey started basically. So when I was in school, in college, there were hackathons like this, but we had it in person before COVID. So in one of the hackathon I participated, it was one of the India's largest hackathons. So in India, there's basically a largest hackathon which is named as SIS, which is done by the government of India. So that's not like MLS or anything. At that time, there was no MLS because it was not that famous in India. Currently, now MLS has come over India and it has become really famous there. But initial days, it wasn't that famous. So in that hackathon, I participated. We were around in around the top 10 teams. So we qualified for the first round. So no problem with that. But there was a close call with the final round. So there was a team with us which had a development part done. And we also had our development part done, but we did not have a web-based UI done. Basically, we made an app for traveling, which was basically whenever you travel to some place, it will generate an itinerary for you. So according to the itinerary, you can modify the itinerary as it goes. Okay. So in that hackathon, basically what happened was we basically uh, made everything ready in the app part, but we did not have time for making the website because if of course it's a 24-hour hackathon, we don't have so much time to do that. So what we did was we just made a prototype with my friend because I had completed my part and my friend had completed. So we sat down trying to learn Figma at that last moment. It was around like 3 hours to the hackathon, 3 hours left, and we thought, let's try it. If it's possible, then that would be great because we had our presentations, everything ready. So nothing was left on that side. Okay. So basically, after that, we started making the prototypes. So we had some problems. We took up templates from internet, and then we just started pasting our screens in that. And some whatever UI which was possible from our side, because that was like on spot making. My friend knew a little bit of designing beforehand before in Figma, so we just went ahead with it. And at the end, we were so close to them that only the Figma part which was there, they told that judges, because of this Figma part of their aspect, they both were completely equal. The only part which was there was they had a Figma prototype ready. Because of that, we qualified for the first round and we won that hackathon. So that's the importance of having a design aspect ready beforehand. So I'm just telling that how important a design part is when you're making any website or an app. So that's just a small story of from my end. But yes, we can go ahead with the demo part, or should we wait, Matthews, for anyone for a bit of time, or should we start?
I think we're good to go. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just present my screen. And if you have anything, any doubts regarding that between the workshop, you can just post it up on the chat. I'll just see it and answer if possible. Okay, as soon as my screen is visible, you can just any one of you just can respond by saying yes or something like that. Okay.
Good on my side.
Okay. So basically, let's start with one of the basic ones. So this is Figma's most auspicious part, which if anybody is new to Figma, this is the best thing they can go ahead with. So this is the community section. Every beginner, every noob, anybody who doesn't know designing anything regarding that, they can just come here, take the template from here, just click on this, and you can click duplicate, and you'll get that template directly downloaded to your website. So there are multiple templates already present here. You can go ahead and look at each of them. I just follow him Sajon, because he's a really good designer. He has a really good template, so you can go ahead with him. And if you want an inspiration from internet, you can go ahead to these sites like Dribble, Behance, Pinterest. Okay, so these sites basically have pre-default templates for design. So suppose if you want inspiration for a particular design aspect, you can just go ahead and see their UI, UX. They have multiple videos uploaded for every app. At least for any app you think on internet, they will have a aspect to that. Then we have Dribble. Then we have Behance. Okay, Behance is similar to Dribble, but it has more greater components because it's hosted by Adobe. So most of it is everything that's hosted by Adobe has a really bigger family or community, which I can say. But yes, there are equally good contents available on both sides. But if you don't find anything on Dribble, you'll definitely find it on Behance. So I think if you don't find it there, you can find it here. And on at the last part, if you are a good in designing at the end of it, like at the like you don't require any aspect or anything beforehand, how to start with a particular palette or anything regarding that. And when you think you are good enough with your own creativity, you just need ideas, so you can just go to Pinterest or Instagram. I generally don't prefer Instagram because it's a little bit of procrastinating website. You end up seeing reels and then you get lost there. So how many of you feel like that? You can just drop a, a, a thumbs up in chat. Sure. So that's why I don't prefer that. But yeah, you can go ahead with Pinterest also. You can search here also for a particular design idea. You can just search for minimal design or anything like minimal. So you'll get a lot of design aspects for it. So you can just go to Pinterest, Behance, or Dribble. So these are basically the three ideas for uh, if you need any designing basics. Okay, so there's a Pride month, so they have specifically created specific content for Pride month. So you can go ahead with that also. Okay, let's get into the profile view. Okay, back to here. How many of you have created an account and now ready? So we can start. Okay, so once you're done, you can just let us know. Okay, everybody does it. So okay, this happens to me also. That's why I hate Instagram with this. While you are designing, you should not use it. Okay, so try using Pinterest. It has almost same things that you need in Instagram. Okay, so once we're done with creating an account, you can just create. I'll just tell you the panels which are present here. So basically, this is the account thing. Here you can search for it. In community also you have a part to search for it. Then there's drafts. Drafts is basically whenever you make a design and you don't want to publish it or show it to anyone, you are just keeping it to yourself. Then this is a team. If you have a particular team, like suppose if you're working with a certain organization of, or suppose hackathon team, so you can create a team here. You can create multiple teams. There's no restriction to that, but for a particular team there's a plan limited to it. Like suppose you can have only single design for uh, not a premium mode. If you want to buy a premium mode, I don't prefer buying a premium mode if you are using it. So that's a disadvantage. If you don't buy a premium, you can't add multiple projects to a particular site, but you can create multiple teams and add them. So that's how you do it. You just create plus and you can go ahead with that, creating adding multiple people to it. So that's it. You just have an option to invite members here. Just add them here, give the invite link or anything regarding that, and I think you can go ahead with it. So you can just give it or send them by email. Anything works. Okay, and you can give access, can edit, can do anything, any of them. Okay, yeah, our website of course, figma.com. Okay, okay, so once every one of you have been done making the account, we can go ahead with designing it. Sure. So these are my previous projects, just nothing so good about it. So I'll just tell you the basics of how a website works. I'll just tell you an example. So here's one of the site that I created. It was long back. I don't know what about. I don't think there was problem with formatting part. I think because of that, it's bit like this. Okay. So basically here you can see you just take a component and start creating from it. Yes. Now it's better. So I think the text got a little bit dismantled. I'll just take another example then. Okay, so basically this app was created for a specific school or college where you have to see if a particular student track a particular bus station for a particular bus for a particular if a bus is traveling from one place to another, basically for stops and various places. So for that, this is present. Okay, so it has multiple screens. You can see this was basic demo and UI for it. And you can even if suppose in case if you want to present it to judges and last time you don't have your presentations ready, in that case, you can just go ahead with a Figma demo, directly recording this demo and showing them directly to it. But yes, do make the coding part of it and just show it. But if you don't have that ready, you can show the prototype of it in case of a website or something like that. So this is just a basic of app and I haven't done much of it. I've just keep random values there, most of it. But yes, you can, if you want access to these kind of thing, you can just tell me, I'll just share the prototype here. Okay. So you can share it with multiple people. Yeah, but don't try sharing it with many people. It will ask you for a premium. Okay. So that's a disadvantage. Okay. Let's create a fresh design file. Okay, there are three options: Figma Jam file and there's a design file. Figma Jam file is still in beta, which means you can work with multiple teams together on a particular file. Like if you have 5 to 6 teams working for it, like you have a design team, marketing team, and they also want to see the product. But in a Figma team, you have a restriction to these many members or these many people. So to avoid that, you just avoid using Figma Jam. Okay. I'll just suggest using design file because as you are beginners, most of you, so I just prefer using uh, Figma file. Okay, so I'll just explain what are these. This is a basically a hamburger. This used to be an hamburger icon beforehand, but now this has multiple options. So here you can see you can create a new sketch file or anything like that. Edit, view, and these are common options, so you don't need to work with this as of now. Most of these will be available on the right hand side of the aspect, so don't worry about it. Okay, so that's it. I'll just keep it here till then because you have 3 bars. So basically in Figma you have 3 sections. This is left, top, and right. These are the 3 sections. If anyone asks you the basics of it, so you should just know the basics: left, top, and right. So I'll just start with the top part of it. So here's move tool, scale tool. You just require move tool, scale tool isn't important as of now. When we have frames is basically a screen resolution size. So you can see there are multiple. If you want an iPhone 11, 11, 8 plus. So these are many options for frames: tablet, desktop, presentation, anything regarding that. Okay, you can create presentations too, but yeah, Canva is much better. So don't, if you are really good in UI UX designing, then you can go ahead with it. Otherwise, avoid it. Then we have paper, social media, and Figma community. So basically a plugin or banner for kind of thing. So this is for that. Yeah, even you have Apple watches. So if you want to create a prototype for a watch, you can give that also. This is really impressive right now. Many people do it and it is gaining really good trust. So you can go ahead with that. And yes, so currently we'll take a desktop as it's was most common thing. Okay, you can take any of these resolution, but I'll take the standard one, that's the desktop. Okay, so here you can choose the frame, any specific frame if you want. You can take the shortcut also F. You can use F, but as long as you're a beginner, you don't need to remember these. Then we have rectangle, line, arrow, eclipse, polygon, star, and an option to place even a single image. So these are the options present. If you want to refer to any of these options, you can go ahead with it. But yes, I'll just take a rectangle as of now. Yes, you can create it. So whenever you create a rectangle, it will give you an option to change the radius for it. So you can gently drag it in and you can see you can create a curved border around it. So if you want more radius, you can just go ahead with it. It will just create a particular shape. Okay, so this is the max it can go, and that's the maximum radius. Okay, we'll just keep it a little bit round around the borders. So this is one of the options. Then I'll explain what are these. These are fill options. You can change the color for it. By default, it's gray, so you can change the color to red or anything you want. You can slide it here, and you can reduce your opacity from here. So if you want a particular color to be a little light, you can go ahead with it. Okay, so here's a beautiful red triangle, not the best, I mean. Okay, so this just the starting aspect. So you can follow through this tutorial as I go, and at the end of this tutorial, you can just send me your prototype or anything. If you have taken a app screen, you can just send me the app screen at the end of this prototype. I'll just look through that. Okay. Okay, so once we are done, you have different alignment features. We'll go ahead with this next. Okay, so once this is frame, this is slice option. You can just, if you want to just cut through a part of it, like if you want a particular element, like you want a half triangle or a half shape, you can use a slice tool for it. But I won't prefer, you just use the frame part of it. Okay. Then one of the most auspicious tools, if you are ever into designing, you will love this tool. This tool is basically for everyone who loves designing. So if you are drawing a face, if you're drawing someone's portrait, like take up any image from internet, and if you want to draw their body, like their face, if you want to create a design for it, pen tool is basically you can do anything you want with it. So you can create multiple shapes like this. Okay, so yeah, just I'll join this and you can see this shape is created. So you can create, if you want it to be normal, dark and anything like that, you can just do it. You can use a stroke, you can fill it, anything you want. If you don't completely fill it, it will not show you the fill option. Yes, yeah, see, you can fill it, you can give it different colors. So just click on this plus icon, you can create multiple colors if you want. Okay, so this is how you color a particular object using pen tool. Okay, so until here, any doubts on anything regarding it, you can just drop it in the chat. Okay, how did you draw curved lines with a pen tool? Okay, so basically, drawing curved lines with a pen tool, I'll just give a demo. Okay, so here's whenever you select the pen tool, here's an option for curved line. You can use a pen tool directly from here, or whenever you are pointing to that particular place, I'll just show you. Suppose you click a particular destination. So suppose I just wanted to keep it here. Hold the mouse till there and just move it above or below. So it will create an angle accordingly. Here you have created a particular angle. Now wherever you feel it's convenient, like suppose if you want to keep it here, you can keep it here. If you want it to be here, you can keep it here. Any type of curve you want, you just hold the mouse till there and leave the mouse. As soon as you're done, we are satisfied with the curve, you think this is perfect, just leave it. It becomes a curved line. Okay, and if you don't want, like suppose now this is showing me a curved line, but I want a straight line here. So you just click back on that particular point and you get a straight line back again. So this is one of the pro tips, like this is best tip in designing. Whenever you're designing, and if you have a problem that why my point is curved again, I don't want it to be curved, you can just click on that particular point back again, and your curved line will be gone. Okay, so that's one of the most helpful tips. If you want, like suppose if you want to make a custom figure like this, half shape custom, and if you want the line to be particularly straight, you can use shift. Even if you want a curve to be specifically shaped, to be a particular shape, you can use shift for it. So I'll just give you a demo of a particular shape. Okay, so this is what we have created using, this is a custom shape, you can't get it anywhere. So if you want to create such kind of shapes, you can use this pen tool. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Any doubts and anything else you want to ask? You can just go ahead with it. Okay. So here you can see layers panel, vector and rectangle. We'll go into this part again. So this is a pencil tool, which is similar to the pen tool. Just you don't have any advantage because more advantage because you just have to draw it using your hand. So if you have a graphic tab, anything regarding it, you can just do that. Okay. So yeah, this pen tool is one of the best tools you can ever use. So just I would highly recommend if you are just a beginner, just always try using it. It's one of the best tools you can get on internet. And if you are using Illustrator, Photoshop, anything, this tool is available in every platform, every designing tool, I think, most of it. Okay, so pencil tool you may not require if you are not having graphic tab. Then this is the text tool, one of the famous tools. So here you can type a text like anything. I'll just frame it bigger. Okay. I'll increase the font size for it. Okay, so here's the font. You can increase the font size from here. So you can keep it 24. Now it's visible, I think. But I'll keep it pretty low. Okay. Similarly to designing, we can have a hello world program here. Okay. So similar to coding, whenever we do coding, we have a hello world program. In designing also we can have a hello world. Okay. Okay, so if you can select particular font from here, you have multiple whatever fonts you have downloaded in your laptop, these will be shown here. Okay, I have multiple fonts because I do designing, so you can download multiple fonts. I'll just name a few. You can just go with open source, open sans kind of sans serif kind of fonts. So I'll just recommend two of them. So one of them I love is Montserrat. So this is one of the best minimal designs I've ever seen. And here you can change the size of it. So if you want it to be semi-bold, you can keep it semi-bold. I don't like it over bold because it becomes too weird. Okay. Okay. We'll keep this like this for now. And we'll design. You can drag and drop using your mouse. All the aspects for that is similar. Okay. So don't need to worry. Just take that text tool and you just have to keep it anywhere on the screen. It will give you the text for it. Okay. And there's a hand tool. There's a hand tool which if you want to move your cursor from here to there, you can move that. But remember the keyboard shortcut for it. You can use space for it. If you're using any of the browser, you can just press space or you just do anything. It's the shortcut for it. Okay. One of the greatest things that you ever have in designing is, I'll just show you, is this tool, which is known as the comment tool. Okay. So suppose this is your logo in case. Okay. So designers generally love feedback. So if you're working with any team, like in code in during your project, also you'll have a feedback kind of thing. So I'll write hello. This logo could be bigger. Okay. So as soon as you're done, you can just ask, do you want this logo? This logo to be bigger. Okay, so we'll just type out the question for a client. Okay, so if whenever he sees it, okay, so just an emoji for it, and you can just post it out. Okay, so whenever the design, whenever if you are given access to other person, like I haven't given it to anyone as of now. So if you give it to any person, you can just tag them also if you want to edit. I'll just show you. Like if you want to tag them, just type @ and you'll get an option to tag any of these. These are my friends who have used Figma, so I have invited them. Okay, so you can just tag them and they'll get an email for it. Okay, as soon as it's done, you can reply to its thread and everything. It's similar. So once it's done, it gets resolved and it goes away. So if you want to see it, there's a specific option of show resolved comments. Okay, it won't be visible anywhere else. You have to click show resolved comments also. Enable this. This is one of the features that you will require when you are done with designing, and if you want to, if your particular comment has been gone anywhere else, if you don't want to unresolve it, or by mistake if you have resolved it, so this is the place you can go ahead. Okay, so just this is one of the handy tips, you can go ahead with it. Okay, another question about the pen tool. How do you get rid of the vertices when you placed it and you don't want it anymore? Like if you misclick or something, oh, you have control Z always. Okay, so if you misclick it, and if you suppose in case if you suppose in case if you don't want these handles come by default. I don't think if you want to remove it, yes, there's an option that you can change using these handles too, but I don't prefer doing that because you don't get a greater flexibility with it. With the pen tool, you can have you can remove these handles. I don't know how to do that. I think you just press delete, you can remove it. Yes, if you press delete, you can remove these handles. But I don't think don't need to worry. Whenever you move to another place, these they disappear automatically. So don't worry. They won't inherit your design part aspect of it. So if you want, you can just press Ctrl Z and go back to that particular step anytime. So it's completely like Word. Anything you press Ctrl S, it gets saved. Anything anything you do, it gets saved. Okay. So here's a title. You can rename it if you want. So we'll type it as, okay, hacker intro to Figma. Okay. So you can name anything. Okay. So it gets named. Okay. And here's how you, if you want multiple people to collaborate, I'll just open this file again. Okay, so I'll just show you how it will look if you open two persons in a particular screen. So here's one tab, here's another tab. It may show one person here. So currently I'm only working, so it will show two Anush. Yeah, so you can see you have an option to see two people working here. So this is my previous cursor. Okay, you can show this is where it was. So suppose in case if I select a particular object, it will show that Anush has selected this object. Okay, and you can move this, you have the access to collaborate also. So as you can share it with as many people you want when you are designing, no problem with it. You can give access to them, copy the link and just share it with them. Okay, but you can have only a single team, that's a disadvantage. So if you want to upgrade to premium, that's your wish, but if you're using freebies for first time, don't prefer that. Okay, so here's if first some people collaborate, you can see it. Then if you want to show the prototype, you just click this play button and you will get a beautiful screen here of displaying. Yes, so here you can see the screen. You can scroll down if you want the aspect ratio to be bigger. You want to show it to someone during presentation, anything. You can share the prototype too. Whenever you're doing a dev folio submission, dev post submission, any place you can share the prototype link also with that. In dev post, you have multiple options to share. In other links, you can share these kind of things. Okay. Okay. So this is the prototype part of it. Okay. Okay. Anything else? If you have doubts, you just ping me or just type it. Okay. So now, as we have done with the top part, anything left here? This is the zoom in part of it. You just require the zoom in, zoom out part. You don't need to go deep into that. Okay. There is a layers panel here present here left. So if you want to duplicate this desktop, suppose if you want the same screen to be there, there's a shortcut, control D, control plus D, or command D, whatever device you're using, so it gets duplicated automatically. Okay, so that's one of the key tips if you are designing, and if you want, suppose if you want a particular component to duplicate, so you can press control D, it gets duplicated, but it gets laid on that particular element, so you have to move it down. So you can see now two objects have been created. Okay, so rectangle and rectangle 2. I would prefer naming these. Okay, don't keep it like that. Whenever a particular person is using it, if you should know that, suppose this is a logo, you should know that this is a logo. Okay, So that's a better part of it. And you can name the desktop also, screen one, screen two, something like that. Okay. Okay. So this is basically, just remember, if you want to duplicate, use Control D. Okay. I've shown the multiple user part. Okay. Okay. One more thing. One of the important features is you can, if you want to rotate it, there's an option automatically coming at the edges of it. You can see here. Here. If you want to rotate, I'll just show an example how to rotate. You just click and control, and it will move accordingly. Okay. And you can press shift or control to make it at a specific angle like 90 or anything, or you can specify the angle directly here. Okay, so if you want it 90, you just type it out 90 and it will work. Okay. 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 So let's draw a header too. Okay, now suppose my logo shouldn't be above my header. So suppose I've drawn this header, and suppose this is a nav bar for a particular website. Okay, but my logo has gone down now. I want my logo to be above, of course, my nav bar. Okay, so this happens when you bring up layers. When you draw the recent layer, it goes to the top, and layer which you have made the last will go down at the bottom. So you can see logo is highlighted here, but it's at the bottom. So if you want it to move up, you can just drag the layer from here and just move it down. Okay, or you can move it up. Okay, anything you can do is you can move the logo above. Okay, so anything you can do, anything whichever feels convenient, you can move the rectangle down or the logo above. So, and you can color it, like suppose if you want it to be black. Okay, this is too dark. I'll just keep it to simple then. Okay, so this looks better. Okay, now suppose if you want to move your desktop screen, like if you want it to be responsive, so currently it isn't responsive. If you can see it, if you move it, if you move the if you select the complete desktop and if you move it, it's not giving you a responsive output. Okay, suppose in case if you want it to be responsive, you just select these two objects, any number of objects which you want. In the constraint tabs, come and choose left and right. So it will be responsive according to the size of the desktop. So now if you want it to change it to mobile, it will automatically get adjusted. So yeah, you can see as I'm moving the size of desktop, it will automatically change the logo size. Okay. Okay, it's not that easy because see you can have glitches at that time, but yes, it makes your task a little bit easier. More the components, more it becomes complex. Okay. So in case if you want it to be responsive, you can just use left and right feature here. This is one of the pro tips. You won't get it anywhere else on internet, so that's helpful. Okay. Then let's go to, if you want this to be aligned at center, you can just click this and it gets aligned at center. If you want the logo to be center, if you want it to be left, it goes to the extreme left. Okay, but we don't want it to extreme left. If you want it center, anything like that, you can just select these tools. These are for alignment purposes. Okay, any tool if you require for alignment, you can go ahead with this. Okay, and once you are done with the session, do drop your links on Discord. Like I don't have my Discord on right now. Okay, but in the Figma chat, you can just drop that off in this channel. Okay, just drop whatever you have designed at the end of this workshop. I just love to look at it there. Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be great. Okay. What should I repeat, Andre? If you could tell me, I'll do that.
Sorry, you got to it as soon as I asked the question, so it's all good.
Okay, no problem. Okay. So that's it. That's the basic of it. Now let's go to the constraint parts. If you want, if anything else, if you want, suppose if you want to club these two parts. Okay, I'll just club two same figures. Suppose if you have a rectangle here, and if you have another rectangle here. Okay. Yep. These aren't two equal rectangles. If you want, I'll just duplicate this using Control D. Okay. Okay. Once these two are done, you can group them. So grouping command is Control G or Command G, whatever you do it. Okay. Okay. So you can group them together, so they will move together however you want them to be. Okay, so that's grouping and it will show a group together, group command. You can individually change the aspect of it. Like if you want to change this size, you can change it. But if you want them to put together in a group, like if you are making suppose if you are making tabs for this website. Okay, so like this is one of the links, this is second link. So you can it, suppose it should be a text. Instead, I'm not using a text, I'm just showing an example. So in that case, you can group them together and you can move them together. Okay, so that's one of the advantage of keeping them together. Then you have an option for responsive design, which we have seen. Okay, so I'll just go to the effects part of it. So suppose if we have made any figure. Okay, and we'll just see the right side of it. Left side we have done. If you have any doubts, any specific section, if you want me to go ahead with it, I'll just do that. I think I'm not invited to the Discord server. Can somebody drop the link? Okay, so I think Matthew will drop that down. You can join it through that link. Okay, so just join that server using it. Okay, that's great. Okay, so specifically one of the requests that I get the most is, suppose if I want to add a gradient. Okay, so if you want to add a gradient, you just click this plus icon here. You get a linear gradient automatically. Okay, I would prefer using linear gradient only. That's that's the easiest to do. So yes, you get, and if you want to rotate that particular gradient, you can just go ahead with moving this here or here. So specifically, if you want in any direction, it will rotate. Okay. And if you want to change the color of it, you can change color for both of them by clicking on the color of it. Or if you want a specific hex code, you can do that also. So yes, this is one of the figures. Let's take a blue color. I like blue. Not being racist to any color. Okay, so I just like blue. That's okay. 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 Next. Okay. Okay. Next. Suppose if I've created this and if I want a stroke around it, so you just click the stroke icon here. You will get a border around it. So there's an option of center, outside, or inside. You can specify the length of it. If you want this border to be bigger, you can keep 5 over 1. I don't prefer using strokes most cases. Avoid using strokes. I don't think it will be required in most cases. If you do, this is just a demo. Okay, so you can use it from here. Okay, so here's you can do. And if you want other, like if you want join, meter, angle, you have other options for choosing that advanced strokes, but I don't think that's required. Okay. Okay, and if you have an option for different colors, if whatever color you want, you can take it from here. You can even keep a gradient on the stroke. Okay, so you can even do that if you want, but that's not required in this case. Okay, and that's it, I think, from the stroke part. If you want anything, you can just choose this kind of angles if you want. And if you want a dash, so you can write 2 dashes. Take the border to be 6. You can see, so you can see there's small dashes around it. Okay, more the gap you keep between them. Okay, just I'll select this. You can keep 2, 2, so it will take that number of dashes. You can keep 2, 5, so anything like 5, 5, so it will increase the dash between them. There's one for gap, one for angle. So that's it, how you want it to keep the particular dash. Okay, one for stroke, one for dashes. So that's it. But I don't think if you require it, you can enable. If you want to see a particular layer, you just disable it. Okay, or you can remove it from here. I prefer disabling it if suppose in case I need it back again. Okay, so that's stroke part. Next we have the effects part. Okay, effects is drop shadow. Oh, okay, this is one of the savior. Don't ever use, and whenever you are designing whenever you are designing anything, I would highly prefer using drop shadow to any object if you want to bring it on the top or anything. Like if you want to use borders, stroke, avoid using stroke and use effect with drop shadow. Okay, so you can just I'll just take an example. Okay, so here's drop shadow. I'll just take, if you want to put the x, y, and the z aspect of it. So in don't ever keep don't ever modify the x parameter, keep it at 0. Okay, so if you want to change the x axis, so there are basically 3 axes, x, y, z. If you know that, that's okay. If you don't know, you can try and try and change that. So this is the y aspect, this is the z aspect. Okay, this is the x, this is the y, and this is the z aspect. Z aspect is how much you want this figure to be grown up. So in case if I want it to be too high, so you can see if I keep it 100, you can see it's just glowing out of the screen at the max. So that's one of the case. But yeah, keep it around 6 or 7, and why around this. Okay, so if you want, you can reduce the opacity of the darkness around it. You can keep it around 19. I keep it around 19. That's my sweet spot, and I'll change the color. Okay. Okay. So you can see the background changing automatically. Now you can see it looks good to me. And you can change the color of the drop shadow too if you want. Like you can change the color from here. Like if you want red drop shadow, if you want blue drop shadow, we can have a blue drop shadow too. Yeah. Okay. But that's barely visible. So you can darken it, lighten it. Okay. I'll keep it black and lighten it up. Okay. This looks good to me. Okay. So you can have sections like this. So you can duplicate it, whatever you want. Okay. So yes. Okay. So here's the basic website. You can keep sliders here, anything like that. Okay, there's an option for auto layout. I'll just focus on this aspect of it. This is one of the saviors. If you are new to designing, you just click auto layout and it will frame it into a particular frame, or you can use Control F for that. I don't prefer using Control F because I don't remember keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so it will automatically align them equally in any direction you want. Now currently it's aligned to the right, you can see, and if you want them to down, it will go just down. So it's just a click. You can change the direction, and whatever distance you want between them, you can keep it 40. So it'll distance them automatically. Social distancing automatically followed here. So just a click away. Okay. Okay, don't mind these bad jokes. Okay, and this is padding. Okay, so you can keep, if you want it to be padded from the top, it will automatically pad it up. If you want it to go down to 100, it will just move down. So frame goes down automatically using this left, right, and anything. I don't modify this. I just keep it as it is. If you want to increase the gap between them, you can keep it at 20. This looks good. Okay. So here's what we have designed till now. And next, if suppose if in case if you want a frosted look. Okay, so we'll take a rectangle. Okay, so we'll keep it a white color. Okay, so frosted looks is whenever you want. So in drop shadow we have inner shadow, layer blur, background blur. Background blur is one of the top features which is used. I'll just show you why it's one of the best features. Okay, I'll just keep a color like this, any color you want. And in background blur, you can keep the blur up to 110 or anything like that. Okay, and move this text below. Okay, move this text above it. And we'll keep the fill a little bit less. Okay, so you can modify the fill from here. You can keep it 40%. Yeah, so you can see this is a frosted look. You can get it if you want. You can keep this color as white also. if you want a frosted look and you merge it with the background, so you get a frosted look like this. This looks cool, I think. If you don't, you can just comment in box. Okay, if you want a frosted look like this is one of the option. You use a background blur feature. You have inner shadow, drop shadow, but whenever you use a box or anything button like this kind of structure, you can use drop shadow and this. Okay, so this is basics of it. If you want anything else, if you have export formats, if you want to export a particular box or any item, you just click export and you can export that particular component to SVG, JPG, PDF, any format. Okay, but I don't individually export a component. But if you want a particular frame to export, you just select that layer before exporting, uh, file, and you can save a local copy. So at the default uh, format for it getting saved is .fig, and you can send this fig file to anyone, whoever you can. If suppose if your collaboration feature isn't working, and if you want to send a file to particular client or anything like that, you can just do that, and in downloads it will get saved as .fig. Okay, so that's the extension for a Figma file ever. Okay, so this is the basic. I think anything else, any doubts, any specific aspect you want me to highlight upon, or anything you want, so we can get into that. Okay, I'm done with it. I'll just have a, if you want, we'll have a quiz. How many of you are ready to have a quiz? Okay, if you want to have a Figma basic quiz, I have a quiz already prepared. Okay, or should we end this? Anything, any say? Okay, okay, let's have a quiz. Okay, so if you are using a mobile website, uh, we'll have a quiz on Kahoot. Okay, so just use any of the device you want. The screen should be visible to you. Okay, that's the only thing. Okay, I'll just log in and host it up. Okay, it's not a big quiz. Okay, so it's very basic, and I don't think it will be difficult. Okay. Okay, where should I get the library? Oh, wait. I should modify the game options. Might be my internet might be slow. Okay, so I'll keep the questions on, and okay, let this be on. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's start. No problem with it. These are fine. Okay, so now you can join it using Kahoot.it website. I'll just drop this and pin in chat. You can change your name. Okay, that's okay. It's around 6 to 5 questions, so it will be very basic. Okay, once every one of you is done, we can start. Okay. Yeah. Till then, feel free to add me on LinkedIn or anywhere you prefer. I am everywhere on all social media. I have the same handle as Anush Bhatia. Okay, so you can feel free to add me anywhere on LinkedIn. I'll just post it down in this chat also, and in the I'll give a formal introduction to in the Discord if you join that. Okay, is anyone left? You can just ping in chat. We'll wait, or should we start? I'll wait. What's the time right now? 9:24. Okay, it might be different for you guys. Sorry. We will wait for another 1 minute if any one of you joins. Okay. Okay. Should we start? Should we start? I think 5 of you are here. Okay. Let's. Okay, Ellie. Still people are joining. Okay. Okay. Okay, don't use the same device. Okay, I would prefer not using the same device because questions and answers will be shown here. Okay, so avoid using the same device. Okay. Okay, a minute or so we'll wait. 20. Okay, should we start now? Just give a thumbs up if you have done with it. Okay, so we can start. Or if somebody is left, you can give a thumbs down and I'll wait for it. Okay, I think everyone is done. Okay, so we'll start. So basically, then options will be there if you want a basic introduction. Question will be there, and then you'll get the answers on your mobile screen or whatever device you are using, and the questions will be shown here. Okay, I think most of you would have played it if you haven't. So, okay, let's start. Okay. Yep. This was a trick question. Okay. So first one is tough. Okay. Audrey is leading. Wow. Great, great. Everyone is really close. This is the first round. So just warning. Okay. Figma is used for. Oh, very good. Oh, that's a close one. Matthew Kenny. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the third question. Okay, if you have missed this, okay, they have images too, but it's not images, it's basically templates. Okay. Okay, this was a difficult one because if you had not attended the start of the lecture, you would have missed it. That's okay. Okay, nice one, Audrey and Kenny and Bonnie. Top 3. Wow, great. Okay, this is command or option or control or option. Okay, nice one, nice one. Control D, yes, that's the right answer. Okay, so Command D if you are using a MacBook. I haven't. I'm not using it. I'm using a Windows desktop. Oh, nice one. Otter is still leading. Kenny and Matthews. It's a close competition between Matthews and Bonnie. So that will be close. Two questions more. Okay, so frame section is basically present in the top right side. It shows the parameters for it. Okay, so this was a confusing one. You can't say the particular answer, but it's present in the top section. So here's it. This is the inspector window. So you can't say you can have aspect or design part of it. So yeah, that's confusing. Okay. Okay, next. Last question. Export format in Figma is. Close one. So that's dot three. Okay, let's see who's the top three. Oh, Kenny in the third position. Okay. Matthew. Okay, second. And first, Roderick, of course. Okay, so congratulations, runner up, Moni and Figma. Very good. Good one. Good one, guys. Any feedback if you want to give, you can just give it up in Discord. I'll just look through them. And any designs that you have made during the hackathon or after the hackathon, I'll just look through all of them. Okay. And congratulations to everyone. So this was just a basic session. And anything else you want to say or any doubt you have, just tell me. Okay. Thank you so much for an awesome. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Anush.
I'll just stop sharing.
So Anush is actually a mentor as well. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask him. Or there's also a Figma workshop channel. If I guess you have Figma questions, I think he would be happy to help you.
No problem with that.